keep one at a time, but that's not worded. This is not on.
Seeing as it is 7:30, the Monday, October 17th, 2020 regular meeting of the Gardner City Council will come to order. The clerk will please call the roll.
Council Boone?
Present.
Council Boudreaux?
Present.
Council Craig Cormier?
Present.
Council Ronald Cormier?
Present.
Council Darrell Lowitz?
Present.
Council Harder?
Present.
Council Heath?
Present.
Council Matt?
Present.
Council Tyros?
Present.
Council Walsh?
Present.
And President Kuzinski.
Present. Please rise to recite the opening prayer and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Almighty God, we thank Thee for bringing us together this evening. Inspire us to worthy deeds and sound decisions, and direct us towards the attainment of good city government. We pray Thee to bless and protect all the people of our city, and to so guide and inspire us that we may deliberate in unity and harmony. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Announcement of open meeting recordings. Any person may make a video or audio recording of an open session of a meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium subject to reasonable requirements of the chair as to the number, placement, and operation of equipment used so as not to interfere with the conduct of the meeting. Any person intending to make such recording shall notify the chair forthwith. All documents and exhibits used or referenced at the meeting must be submitted in duplicate to the chair as they become part of the meeting minutes pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. Is there discussion? I'm sorry, is there anyone here recording the meeting this evening? Thank you. We'll begin with the reading of the minutes of prior meetings. There are no minutes of prior meetings this evening. There are no public hearings. Communications from the mayor. Communications, item number 10807, a measure declaring surplus for the purpose of disposal of land and buildings at 14 Laney Street. Report from the Finance Committee, Councilor Darrell Lowitz.
Thank you, Madam President. This is an old factory site where the building was demolished using BG funds. The Finance Committee met on this and was in favor, unanimously in favor of declaring the property surplus for the amount listed. The property card is attached, just for note. The land itself is assessed for the $51,000 that is listed here. Therefore, I move to adopt the measure.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Darrell Lowitz, seconded by Councilor Ron Cormier to adopt the measure. Is there a discussion on the motion? Councilor Walsh?
Yes, I just want to commend the mayor for taking the initiative to pursue these properties as being available for return to the tax base. Yeah, and more particularly, the setting of a reasonable minimum price for sale of the land. In the past, we've had situations where the dollar value put on the proposed order was $1, and it left really the council out of the negotiating process, and we've had to amend it, as a matter of fact, to put a minimum price in order to ensure that those special deals were being given. So I want to commend the mayor for adopting this sensible practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Further discussion? Councilor Ron Cormier?
One brief comment that the mayor made at the Finance Committee meeting also is in the past we've gone out to bid and RFPs and so on. We've had difficulty in getting responses. They are looking into perhaps contracting with a real estate or real estate services to lump some of these various properties together to see if we can have greater interest in marketing them. It becomes an issue. So I want to thank the mayor for doing that.
Thank you, Councilor. Further discussion? This requires 8 votes of the council, and we are going to do a roll call vote on this. The clerk will please call the roll.
Council Boone?
Yes.
Council Boudreaux?
Yes.
Council Craig Cormier?
Yes.
Council Ronald Cormier?
Yes.
Council Darrell Lowitz?
Yes.
Council Harder?
Yes.
Council Heath?
Yes.
Council Matt?
Yes.
Council Tyros?
Yes.
Council Walsh?
Yes.
And President Kuzinski.
Yes. 11 yeas, the motion passes. Item 10808, a measure declaring surplus for the purpose of disposal of land and buildings at 177 West Street. Report from the Finance Committee. Councilor Darrell-Lawitz.
Thank you again, Madam President. This one is an amendment to property that was in front of us back in February. It was minimum value at that time we put on it to sell was the $43,200. It has gone out twice through the RFP process with no proposals submitted. The request here is to set the minimum value to $20,000. The Finance Committee was unanimous in support, and I move to adopt the measure.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Darrell-Lawitz, seconded by Councilor Ron Cormier to adopt the measure. Is there discussion on the motion? This item also requires 8 votes of the council, and we will do a roll call vote on this one as well. The clerk will please call the roll.
Council Boone,
Yes.
Council Boudreaux,
Yes.
Council Craig Cormier,
Yes.
Council Ronald Cormier.
Yes.
Council Darrell-Lawitz,
Yes.
Council Harder,
Yes.
Council Heath,
Yes.
Council Matt,
Yes.
Council Tyros,
Yes.
Council Walsh,
Yes.
and President Kuzinskis.
Yes. 11 yeas, the motion passes. Item 10809, a correspondence regarding municipal finances and free cash regulations. Report from the Finance Committee. Councilor Ron Cormier.
Finance Committee was pleased to receive this piece of, I'll call it educational correspondence from the mayor. He went into great length explaining the process of setting of free cash and the limitations as to when and how it can be used. So I want to thank him for this follow-up, and I'll make a motion that we place this on file.
Second.
Motion.
Motion made by Councilor Ron Cormier, seconded by Councilor Darrell-Lawitz to place the correspondence on file. Is there discussion on the motion? Mayor Nicholson?
Thank you very much, Madam President. Just as a note, because it was very timely with this meeting, our free cash for the past fiscal year was certified this morning by the Department of Revenue at $2.6 million. So I'll be submitting a correspondence explaining where that funding came from, anything that was deducted from that, because if we do have any outstanding liabilities, the Department of Revenue does deduct that. Mainly this year it came from grants that are reimbursement grants that have yet to submit their reimbursements from the federal and state governments to the city. So they do a 1-year delay on including that in our free cash number, so we'll see that then. But as you can see from the trend list that is included in the packet tonight for free cash going back from 2015 to present, it does fall in line with what we're normally seeing in our free cash trends. It does fall in line with the guidelines from the Department of Revenue, and working with you, Madam President, I would like at some point to do a, probably around the same time as the supplemental budget, once new growth is certified, which I believe will be done by the end of this week, mid next week. Just to go over where things are falling to free cash historically, if there's any line items that are particularly hitting free cash more than others, and just an overview of the city's financials as we hit the halfway point of the fiscal year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10810, a notification from the mayor regarding update on sales of city properties. Report from the Finance Committee. Councilor Ron Cormier.
As we were talking about city properties earlier, the mayor has provided us with a listing of properties and the results with the attempt to dispose of these properties in recent times. Make a motion that we place this on file.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Ron Cormier, seconded by Councilor Darrell-Lawitz to place the notification on file. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Appointments, item 10805, a measure confirming the mayor's appointments of election officers for 2022 to 2023. Report from the Appointments Committee. Councilor Tyros.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee met with the mayor to discuss these appointments. These election officials who filled vacancies under temporary appointment during the September primary, whom by ordinance and state law now must be appointed for the upcoming November election. The committee voted unanimously to recommend, therefore I move the appointments be certified.
Second the motion.
Motion made by Councilor Tyros, seconded by Councilor Walsh to confirm the mayor's appointments of election officers for 2022-2023. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10806, a measure confirming the police officer assignments to polling locations. Report from the Appointments Committee. Councilor Tyros.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee also met with the mayor to discuss these appointments. The mayor reported that this is new language to authorize all officers of the Gardner Police Department to be assigned to polling locations for the November election. This language has been approved by the Attorney General and Secretary of State's offices to better handle the logistics of Election Day and officer assignments. The committee voted unanimously to recommend, therefore I move the appointments be certified.
Second the motion.
Motion made by Counselor Tyra, seconded by Counselor Walsh to confirm the police officer assignments to polling locations. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10811, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Joshua Cormier to the position of Director of Purchasing / Civil Enforcement for a term expiring October 11th, 2025. Is there a motion? Counselor Tyros?
Thank you, Madam President. I move to refer this to the Appointments Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Tyros, seconded by Counselor Mack to refer the item to the Appointments Committee. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes. Item 10812, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Joshua Cormier to the position of tax title custodian for a term expiring October 11th, 2025. Counselor Tyros?
Thank you, Madam President. Confirmation is not required for this position, though I thank the mayor for this communication. I move to place it on file.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Tyros, seconded by Counselor Mack to put the appointment on file. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes. Petitions, applications, communications, etc. Item number 10813, a measure relative to the November 8th, 2022 state election report from the Finance Committee. Councilor Ron Cormier.
Finance Committee received this and reviewed it from the mayor. This is the city election, the state election order that we're required to pass, and I so move.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Ron Cormier, seconded by Councilor Dernalowitz to approve the measure. Is there a discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes. Item 10814, an application to buy and sell secondhand motor vehicles, Class 2 for Sylvester R. Angley, located at 146 Sherman Street. Councilor Craig Cormier.
Move to refer to the item to the Public Safety Committee for study and report.
Motion made by Councilor Craig Cormier, seconded by Councilor Hardern to refer the item to the Public Safety Committee. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes. There are no reports of standing committees, unfinished business, and matters for reconsideration. Item number 10798, a petition submitted by Private Oversight LLC for an ordinance to amend the Code of the City of Gardner, Chapter 675, entitled Zoning, for Zoning Act, Mass General Law 40A. Councilor Boudreaux?
Thank you, Madam President. As stated in the letter from Planning Board Chair Mark Shaffron, the Planning Board met and discussed this matter at their October 11th meeting, and they voted all in favor, all 3-0, to recommend that we consider approving the proposed zoning map. And with that being said, I know the next part is to have a joint public hearing with them, so I move that we schedule a joint public hearing with the City of Gardner Planning Board at our earliest convenience.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Boudreaux, seconded by Councilor Boone to schedule a joint public hearing with the Planning Board on this item. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes. Moving into new business, Councilor Heath.
Thank you, Madam President. No new business today.
Thank you. Councilor Tyros.
Thank you, Madam President. No new business. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Dernalowitz.
Nothing this evening. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Mack.
Madam President, no new business this evening.
Thank you. Councilor Craig Cormier.
I have no new business. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilor Boone.
Thank you, Madam President. A few days ago, I sent an email to the mayor's office and DPW director regarding the bridge on South Main Street. We all probably received the email wondering what's going on, and I'm wondering what's going on. I haven't got a response, so I'm hoping that maybe we can get clarification on what's going on at that bridge. In fact, Travers Street was blocked on West Broadway, and I went by Knights of Columbus and started driving down. I go, oh, damn, I forgot that bridge is out. So I'm just looking for an update, but I appreciate if I can get a response and a reply as to what is going on. So, and maybe the entire council deserves a response. So I appreciate that. Next thing I wanted to talk about, many of us may have received this postcard in the mail about the electrical rates. going up more than double, from 10.5 cents to nearly 24 cents per kilowatt hour. And I'm curious, I thought there was laws against utilities going up that much. I thought there was some kind of protection for consumers. With that said, I had another resident tell me that they could get a rate of 18 cents from Constellation Energy, which kind of surprised me. I haven't checked into it, but that's what they told me. They could lock in for 3 years. They didn't have to remain. But why is the city almost 24 cents and this one resident can get it for 18 cents? Even though that's ridiculous too, but you know, everything's gone through the roof. So I just wanted to point that out, and I guess I want to ask a question, why the city isn't given a better rate than this individual resident? It just doesn't make any sense. The next thing I wanted to mention briefly, anybody look at their electric bill lately? Electrical vehicle charge, distributed solar charge, renewable energy charge, energy efficiency charge. I guess I don't pay attention to it that much, but once the rates went up, it was just like I said, I'm gonna look at the bill a little more closely. And anyways, that's all I have. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Boudreaux?
Thank you. I guess I will also speak on that because I've done a tremendous amount of research, because I also don't like paying bills, paying higher bills. But I recommend that everyone at home does check the DPU website. There is a pretty easy and user-friendly chart that will allow you to compare the different options that you can have to pay. Yes, there's one Constellation. It is 17.99 cents per kilowatt hour. That's a 3-year commitment. You can get out of it for $150, which may be a win-win in certain cases. Recommend looking at solar, recommend looking at the different opportunities that you can have, and also know that there are legislative drafts being submitted in an effort to help us here. Like, this isn't something that we can necessarily battle alone, but all together we can. I disagree with Councilor Boone noting that the city could have done better, because the city's 23 cent per kilowatt hour is locking us in at 1 year. That's a super long amount of time for a city of 21,000 people to be locked into any additional rate. The administration is taking a risk by doing even just that. So I commend the mayor on locking in for 1 year instead of locking us in at a slightly lower rate for 3 and then learning in the springtime that the energy rate had gone down. I called them personally this past week and asked about a lot of those fees, and they did note that a lot of the fees would be adjusted to sort of soften the blow of the dramatic increase in the kilowatt hours. But I've yet to see that, and I guess I can't take a customer service representative at what they say until I see it written in my bill. On a lighter note, not a light note, it's actually a real dark note. I would like to thank everybody sitting here and all the people at home that have been so kind to me over the last couple weeks. I found out a few weeks back that I was unfortunately diagnosed with a type of cancer. I had to go in for a surgery. It looks like things are going okay for right now. All moving forward, it's going to be great. But I say time and time again, as does everybody else, that this city is special because of the community that comes together. And it was overwhelming, the amount of cards, the emails, the text messages, the calls. Everybody in here and everybody at home watching and our community as a whole is absolutely wonderful. Thank you all. That is all.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Harding?
Nothing new this week, Madam President.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Walsh?
I just, one thing, just based upon the prior discussion, I want to commend Councilor Boudreaux for not just asking questions, but doing the work necessary to find out the answers. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Ron Cormier?
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. And I have no new business this evening. I'll entertain a motion on the floor to adjourn after the closing prayer.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Boudreaux, seconded by Counselor Mack. All those in favor say aye. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Almighty
Father, who sees over all, as we adjourn, we thank Thee for the opportunity of joint deliberation and action witnessed during the course of this meeting. Bless, O Lord, all who are gathered here, and the people whose represent we are, and do not attend to our common welfare until our next meeting. Amen.
Meeting stands adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
18 cents for private citizens.